It's happened, folks. It has officially happened. We've just witnessed two back-to-back NBA playoff upsets. And as you all know, both the Bucks and the Clippers were eliminated in the second round of the playoffs, which was, let's just say, quite surprising. Going into the year, my predictions were that either the Lakers, Clippers, or Bucks would be the ones holding the trophy. And not gonna lie, throughout the year I continued on with this ideology, as did most. In fact, it wasn't until the Heat were up 3-0 when the Clippers were getting blown out of the bubble that I accepted that my predictions were far from right. Of course, the Lakers don't look like they'll go down without a fight, but 2020 has thrown some very surprising things at us lately, so I wouldn't count against it. That being said, I want to see how and why these upsets ever occurred in the first place. Specifically, I want to talk about how Giannis almost got swept by the Heat. Hey, what's up guys, it's Ish from TMB Productions, back with another video. Judging from the title, you can probably assume that we're going to be taking a deep dive into the playoff matchup between the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. Before we hop right into it, I want to say the reason I didn't make this video geared towards the Clippers series was that I felt like that series had more to do with the mental weakness and poor play of the Clippers rather than the offensive and defensive plays, which was shown more clearly in the Heat-Bucks series. With that being said, let's get right down into breaking down this matchup. At first glance, it may seem like it was a miracle that this upset was ever able to occur. However, that really isn't true. You see, the Miami Heat were practically the kryptonite for the Bucks and Giannis. When you look at the stats, the Miami Heat are the second best shooting three-point team in the league. So what does this mean for the Bucks? Well, the Bucks are touted as a great defensive unit. However, their strategy is practically the worst to play against the Heat. They only give up 20% of their shots at the rim. However, allow teams to shoot 34% from the mid-range and 45% of their shots at the three-point line. So you can say their strategy is to smother anyone in the paint and give up contested threes. And against a team with a second-ranked three-point shooting, this defensive strategy falls apart. Topping that, the Heat were able to successfully lock up the Greek Freak, and just like in the Toronto series, we know this is the only way to beat the Bucks. In fact, the Heat was able to use Milwaukee's medicine against them. They ranked 4th in paint defense, only behind the Bucks, Celtics, and Raptors. Using this high-level defense, they rendered Giannis practically useless while forcing players to chuck up shots from the three-point line. To add to that, the Bucks are 17th in the league in three-point percentage, which further validates the Heat's strategy. In fact, the entire series, the Bucks shot under 30% on 3 different occasions. To add to that, the Heat shot better than the Bucks for the entire series, except for one game. Okay, so I think you guys get the point. The Heat were literally crafted to beat the Bucks, and even during the regular season, they were able to beat them twice out of the 3 times they played. So where am I going with all of this? You see, after both the Clippers and Bucks were upset, I got, well, you can say inspired. I wanted to find the greatest NBA upset ever. When thinking about a great NBA upset, one final series comes to mind. The 2016 Warriors versus the 2016 Cavs. Mind you, this was back before all the Kyrie Irving trades and the Kevin Durant dynasty. For those who don't remember, this was a matchup between a 57-win Cavs team, which is still really good mind you, versus a 73-win Warriors team. And as we all know, the Warriors went on to take the first 3 games, even blowing out the Cavs by 23 points in game 2. And well, when your best 2 players, LeBron and Kyrie, only combined for 29 points, you know you're in for a beating. But as we all know, the Cavs took game 4, and the rest is history. So where does this rank on my biggest upset list? Personally, I'll place it at number 5 because this series is more remembered as a comeback rather than an upset. So what can top that, you may ask? For that, let's travel back to 1999. It's the Heat versus the Knicks. However, this time it's the Heat's turn to be upset by the 8th seed Knicks. And let's just say, things got a little spicy. The Knicks took game 1 easily, but game 2, Miami came back just as strong. The next games were split, and now we have set the stage for an amazing game 5. This game 5 is close, as both teams are neck and neck. With 20 seconds left in the game, the Knicks are down 1, and with just 0.8 seconds left in the game, Allen Houston splits the defense and pulls up for a short jumper that hit the rim. It bounced off the backboard and went through to put the Knicks up 78-77. Terry Porter's long jumper at the buzzer was unsuccessful, and the New York Knicks became the only number 8 seed to ever beat a number 1 seed in the playoffs. And after that, the Knicks kinda went on to be the only 8 seed in the NBA Finals as well. A real Cinderella run, if you ask me. Well, the second spot on this list belongs to the 1994 Nuggets. The 1994 Sonics were nothing short from stacked. They had a prime Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, Sam Perkins, and Kendall Gill. They seemed on the track to win the championship, until they met a 40-42 8th seed Nuggets. The Nuggets had no real stars to speak of and were far too inexperienced to hang with Seattle, or at least that's what conventional wisdom seemed to indicate. The first 2 games were quite predictable as the Sonics walked their way through 2 blowout wins. However, the Nuggets shocked everyone by winning Game 3 and securing a Game 4 overtime win. The Sonics jumped out to an early lead in Game 5, but, well, it didn't last for too long. Dikembe Mutombo motivated the Nuggets to scrape at their deficit. A basket by Kendall Gill with 0.5 seconds remaining would send the game to overtime. And when the final horn sounded, Denver had just pulled off one of the biggest upsets ever by the final of 98-94. And we were left with one of the most recognized images in the NBA. Mutombo clutching the final rebound and falling to the floor, overcome by elation. Perhaps this was the story all of you guys were waiting for. The downfall of the 2007 Dallas Mavericks. Last video was about how Dirk and the Mavs pulled off a great upset against a stacked Heat team. But now it's the Mavs' turn to feel the pain of being upset. A lowly 40-win Warriors team is said to tip off against the Mavs, and any analyst in their right mind predicted that the Mavs were going to be the ones to proceed further in that playoffs, as did most fans. As Game 1 started, Baron Davis got out to a hot start, basically posting a triple-double in the first game. Of course, the Warriors took that one. Dallas would win Game 2, but once the series shifted to Oakland, the Mavs were essentially done for. And in Game 4, the Warriors took home another win, which you probably expected. So now we're heading into yet another Game 5. Golden State very nearly closed out the series, but it could not hold on to a 9-point lead over the final 3 minutes, and Dallas forced a Game 6 back in Oakland with a 118-112 victory. But of course, the Warriors did what they did best for the entire series. They blew them out by 30. So yeah, that's the greatest NBA upset of all time in NBA history. If you guys enjoyed the vid, please drop a like, and if you didn't, feel free to hit that dislike button. It would mean a lot if you subbed, and I mean a lot, and commenting could never hurt. School has been pretty tough on us, and getting videos out has been harder and harder and harder. Please check out our other 2 videos that we just made and the Larry Bird vid as well. But we're going to try our best to get a vid out once a week, of course, but nothing can be promised. Anyway, until next time, it's Ish signing off.